Hello students, today we are going to start supplementary 5th Footprints Without Feet by H.G. Wells. This story is about a scientist named Griffin. He discovers the rare chemicals which can make a man invisible, but at the same time, the man can be touched and felt physically. Let's read and find out how he uses or misuses his power for his own. Two boys saw muddy footprints on the steps of a house in the middle of London and they thought it odd. They were looking around for the man when a fresh footmark appeared. The footprints belonged to a scientist by the name of Griffin who had carried out experiments to prove that the human body could become invisible. He had made rare drugs which, if taken, the human body would become as transparent as a sheet of glass but remained solid. However, Griffin was a lawless person. His landlord disliked him and wanted to throw him out, so Griffin set the house on fire in revenge. To get away from there, he had to remove his clothes and become a homeless wanderer without clothes and money. It was midwinter and the air was bitterly cold, so Griffin decided to slip into a big London store to get himself some food, clothes, and a place to sleep. He opened boxes and wore warm clothes. He ate good food and at last slept on a pile of quilts. The next morning, Griffin did not wake up in time and the store assistants saw him. They chased him, but Griffin took off his clothes and escaped. Now once again he was without clothes. He went straight to Drury Lane, the center of the theatre world, in the hope of finding clothes. He entered a theatrical shop and fitted himself with bandages round his forehead. He wore dark glasses, false nose, and big bushy side whiskers and a large hat. He attacked the shopkeeper and robbed him of all his money. He took a train from London to Iping village and booked 2 rooms at a local hotel. Mrs. Hall, the landlord's wife, was so happy to receive a customer in the winter season. She tried to be friendly with him, but he told her that he didn't wish to be disturbed in his work and he put her mind to rest about his appearance by telling her that an accident had affected his face. Mrs. Hall didn't mind the strange scientist because he had paid her in advance. Soon Griffin was without money, but he pretended that he was expecting a check to arrive at any moment. Shortly, one early morning in Iping, a clergyman and his wife heard some noise in the study. They went downstairs, and the clergyman held a poker in hand and opened the door. They had heard the chink of money being taken from the desk. There was no one in the room, but the desk had been opened and the housekeeping money was missing. Back in the hotel, Mrs. Hall and her husband were surprised to see the scientist's door wide open and he was not there. The bedclothes were cold and his clothes and bandages that he wore were lying about in the room. Suddenly, Mrs. Hall felt the presence of a sniff near her ear and the hat on the bedpost was thrown at her. The chair was lifted and came towards her and her husband. They rushed out of the room in terror and the room was locked after them. Mrs. Hall was convinced that the room was haunted. When the news of the burglary at the clergyman spread, people suspected that the strange scientist had a hand in it. There was more suspicion when he produced cash, as he had earlier said he had no money. The village constable was called in secretly, but Mrs. Hall could not wait for the constable and asked Griffin about the chair. She asked him how he had entered a locked room. At this, Griffin became angry and shouted loudly. He threw off his bandages, spectacles, and nose. Now he had become headless man. The people were horrified to see a headless man. Mr. Jeffers, the constable, was surprised to see a headless man, but he went ahead to arrest him. Griffin started to take off his clothes one by one and become completely invisible. He knocked down Jeffers and made him unconscious, and no one could catch hold him, and he escaped. So I hope students you would have understood the chapter. Thank you.